Welcome to Juri Circus. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, we'll keep on this one. I kind of like this. We've got a Dreadhorde Butcher. Probably not the best commander to be playing against Sliver Overlord, but hey, we can have some fun. All right, so let's go and lead off with Swamp, because we do have Vampiric Tutor. And yeah, we'll see if we want to end up going for Vampiric Tutor. See if we want to hold on to it. Maybe for a board wipe. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, let's cover our commanders and we'll kind of get a feel for the game. We're playing Juri, Master of the Circus Freaks. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent, put a +1 counter on Juri. Then whenever Juri dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Playing it slip. Yeah, I think our best bet with Vampiric Tutor is probably going for Toxic Deluge. I feel like that is going to be the best bet. So let's go Vampiric Tutor. Let's go Toxic Deluge. I think I clicked on the right card. I hope that was the right one. We'll see. Yeah, there we go. We got it. All right, so let's go Mountain. And let's go for Dreadhorde Butcher. Yeah, sounds like a pretty good plan. Yeah, if they want to end up trading with that Sliver, we certainly can. So let's go and swing in for a 1-1. And then anything else past the turn. We're playing against Sliver Overlord, 3-mana activate. All right, they do make the trade, so I am happy with that. Getting rid of flying it's always pretty nice. So we're going to deal that damage up top to our opponent. It's going to drop them down to 28, and then it'll be their turn. So 3-mana activation, search your library for a Sliver card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Then for another 3-mana activation, gain control of target Sliver, and that's going to be Farseek right there. There we go. We also covered Juri, so we did cover both commanders. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If next time you're getting cards and you want to support the channel, hey, consider using my bit.ly link. It's bit.ly/JoltMTG. That's going to apply my affiliate link and help support the channel at the same time, which is always pretty cool. And we're looking at land drop into Juri. Yeah, I think we're cool with that. Yeah, it's better than Thrill Possibility. We'll get that going next turn. Let's go for the land drop. It's going to be Bajuka Bog, exiling their graveyard, and then anything else past the turn to our opponent. Also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you're in the market to play Commander online, they have certainly got you covered. Be sure to check them out, especially with the new set releasing. And also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. If you go to inkgaming.com/Jolt, that's going to give you 10% off your order for any sort of gaming accessories. And last but not least, my goodness, if you're still keeping score at home, I started a Patreon, so if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score, it's officially free time, so let's have some fun. So I think at this point, we need to get some land drops going on our side. So let's go for Thrill of Possibility, and let's discard Bloodghast, because that synergy works out really well. Check this out. Look, we never got rid of a card. Bloodghast comes back onto the battlefield. It's beautiful. Do we want to end up going for... I think Blood Artist? Yeah, I like Blood Artist, because if we're going to try to... Let's get a crack first. So let's get the +1 counter onto Juri. It's going to be 2/2, and let's get this popped out and grab Badlands, because we do not have that yet. So let's grab Badlands. Let's go for Blood Artist, and we got the Secret Lair version of Blood Artist. Check that out. Looks pretty good. Anything else? Do we want to swing it for 2? Yeah, I think we'll just leave Juri on the battlefield, because next turn we're looking at getting it going, getting the +1 counter. So anything else past the turn over there. But yes, welcome to the freak show, the circus, the Rakdos Aristocrat Circus, whatever you want to call it. This is one of those decks that... I'm trying to think how to describe it. It is a lot of fun to play. You're probably not going to win every game, because the creature count and the low converted mana cost nature of the deck make it a little bit hard to be like a super reliable late game threat, unless you're going for some sort of zombie on the battlefield, Phyrexian Altar, Gravecrawler, some sort of kind of combo line of play. But outside of that, it's a fun deck to play. So hopefully we can get some fun interactions, and we can get this Toxic Deluge to stick, which will be a pretty nice feeling. So if we end up going Toxic for 2, that'll wipe the board, but that won't get rid of... It'll get rid of Juri, which is unfortunately what we don't want to happen. So let's go for Pitiless Plunderer. That way we just have some sort of extra value on the battlefield. And let's go and push in with Bloodghast. Yeah, I like that. So we're going to go and swing in for 2. If they want to end up... Oh, excuse me, they got First Strike. Dope. I was thinking they just had Defender, but I forgot. Yeah, as soon as I sent it in there. But at least we get a treasure token. And we get a Blood Artist. So yeah, that's what we were going for. I wanted the Plunder trigger and the Blood Artist trigger. So there we go. All right, anything else Editor's note. I did not. All right, anything else? We will pass. Well, I mean, I did want the triggers, but yeah, I forgot they had first strike, so we will keep that in mind. That's one of the downsides to playing against a Sliver deck is that, when you play against Elf Tribal, you know what's going on over there. It's just a bunch of Tribal Lord effects. And, play against Slivers, you're like, oh, okay, now what is the board state again? Okay, so unfortunately, we do not have a land drop to make for the turn. Which would be pretty nice, but let's do this. Let's just build up our board state. And one of the cool things about Aristocrats is you can build up this board state that is just going to implode whenever a board wipe happens. And so that's what we're going for right now. So let's get the reassembling skeleton on the battlefield. We've got a 1/4. Going to get hit by Dormant Sliver. Yeah, we'll just pass the turn at this point. So now what we are looking for at this point in the game right now is some sort of sack outlet. This is the board state that you definitely want to develop if you're trying to go for Juri. We've got 2 different Blood Artist effects on the battlefield. We've got Blood Artist and we have Zulaport Cutthroat. Then on top of that, we have Pitiless Plunderer. So you can see where if we get some sort of sacrificing chain going, we're going to be able to get the Blood Artist triggers going, Zulaport triggers going, then get those treasure tokens. Is really going to help you power out some good stuff. We've got Rite of Consumption in our hand, which is going to be a very good option. The main thing that we're looking for right now is just anything that we can sacrifice, because if we can sacrifice something and we can land this Toxic Deluge, still keeping Juri on the battlefield, that's going to be a very good feeling, because the longer they can enter the game. Yes, Dorothy. My production assistant wants to be in the lap. All right, there we go. This is going to be Sliver Legion at our end step. Goodness. All right. It's +1. Oh no. But they have Defender, so they're going to have to get rid of the Dormant Sliver. So, actually, yeah, we'll see what they got going on. But yeah, that is definitely a really good way to kind of power up Slivers, because eventually you're going to get to the point where you can probably get rid of Dormant Sliver and then just start swinging in with the entire crew. So it's going to be Sliver Queen. Let's see if we can't get Sliver Overlord on our opponent's side of the battlefield, and we'll have all the Sliver. Well, we don't have the whatever the core set Sliver Lord is, but yeah, having 3 variations of Sliver Lord on the battlefield, that's something else. So we might just end up, oh, look at that. Well, it's not really going to matter with Juri anyway, but it'll be an extra trigger. So we kind of like that. So let's go for Polluted Delta. We're going to be able to return Bloodghast back to the battlefild, and we're just going to Toxic for a bunch. I like that. So let's bring Bloodghast back. Let's go ahead and crack Treasure Token. We're going to add Black Mana to our mana pool. That's going to give us an extra trigger. And then we're going to end up with a bunch of Pitiless Plunderer triggers. Yeah, I kind of like that. So let's go and pay 1 life. That's going to be an extra trigger on Juri. It's going to make it a 4/4. And then let's go and grab ourselves. I guess at this point, it's not really going to matter. I mean, we've got Bajuka Bog out there, and our opponent does have Urborg. So what we'll end up doing is probably just grabbing 2 more basics. Yeah, we can grab Smoldering. That'll come into play untapped. And then if we end up setting up this Rite of Consumption, I think I kind of like that. So we go Rite of Consumption. We're going to target our opponent. We're going to pay 1 black mana. And then we're going to sacrifice Juri, because that's going to be double. All right, look at this. Let's get these triggers on the stack. All right, I'm digging this. Yeah, we're going to return Juri back to the command zone. Let's get Zulaport Cutthroat on the trigger. Let's get the Juri trigger on there. Juri, that's going to be targeting our opponent. That's going to be Pitiless Plunderer. And then that's going to be targeting our opponent. So there we go. And we might, Pitiless Plunderer, be able to recast it and Toxic. Actually, I don't think that's going to work out. I don't think we'll have enough mana for that. But it's potentially a line of play that we could end up going for. So let's see what they're going for with this particular spell right now. Each Sliver has Sliver Cycling. Okay, extra creature on the battlefield really does help out. That's going to be an extra card draw. And with these Blood Artist triggers, it's really going to negate this Toxic Deluge. So there we go. All right, it's going to be a treasure token on the battlefield. It's going to knock them down to 22, put a +1 counter. That's going to be Zulaport Cutthroat trigger. And then that's going to be Rite of Consumption, dropping them down to 17. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're not going to have enough to, I think, make everything happen that we want to happen, because we have no sack outlet. So let's do this. Let's just end up going for Toxic Deluge. And we're going to pay, let's see, they're completely tapped out, so we need to pay 12. Yep, that'll work out. So we're going to pay 12 on this one. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is just beautiful. Let's get the Pitiless Plunderer. I'm going to get all these triggers on the stack. We might have enough to close it out. All right, so let's always yield to the Zulaport Cutthroat triggers, and let's always yield, it's going to be save targets, and then always yield to Blood Artist. So let's see what that drops them down to. I didn't count the trigger. Oh, it's going to put them down to 1. Okay, all right, so we're going to get some extra treasure tokens. Always yield to these. And then let's go ahead and recast Juri. That's going to be... Actually, do we want to wait? Yeah, we'll just wait until next turn, I think, with Juri. Well, if they don't have an answer... Well, either way, they're going to go for Sliver Overlord. So let's do this. Let's just pass the turn. That way we get into a spot to where we might need to use those treasure tokens. But yeah, check that out. We're able to hit the reset button on a lot of slivers. That's a pretty good feeling. If we had one more extra creature on the battlefield, that would have been enough to close it out. Maybe if we could have swung in. But you can see this is what we're trying to do at the deck like this. You know, get to the point to where even if we can't close it out with creature combat, if you just get a couple different copies of Blood Artist style effects on the battlefield, eventually you're going to get to the point to where, you know, it's just, if a board wipe happens, it's like kicking over an ant pile. It's not good for everybody involved. So, all right, let's see what we run into. Sack land would be, or anything that we can sacrifice would be awesome. So we've got Reassembling Skeleton. So let's go for Juri. Let's get old Juri on the battlefield. And then what we can do is if they just decide to swing in or do anything, we can crack in response to a lot of this stuff. So yeah, I like this. So anything else? Yeah, we'll go for Crypt Breaker. I think that'll work out. And while they're tapped down, let's do this. So let's go and bring Reassembling Skeleton out. I mean, who knows if we need to put a +1 counter. Yes, click OK. All right, so we're going to get Reassembling Skeleton back on the battlefield. Then anything else, we will pass the turn to our opponent. So if they do anything to Juri, we're going to have that trigger that goes on the stack. So they're going to have life gain. If they decide to swing in, we're definitely going to chump block with Juri because that'll be 2 damage that we can send up top. So we'll see what they can assemble. But yeah, some sort of... Yeah, we're sitting at 37. So even if they just dump their entire hand with whatever sort of sliver package they've got going on, we're still going to be able to... tap target permanent. Okay, so that's going to be 10-10. That's still going to be 14. They're going to tap down Juri. And they're going to send 20 in. Or actually, they're going to send in 25, potentially. No, they're going to leave some tap options up. So, yeah, and I think at this point, we'll just let that 10 go through. So it's going to put us down to 27. And then we'll see. We're at the mercy of our top deck. We have them down to 1. We still at least have the Crypt Breaker activation to go for. So, see what we draw into. Come on, something that can sacrifice. They're going to tap down Juri. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. And then, come on, Mayhem Devil. Oh, yeah. Yes. Now, the only way this is going to stop is if they have Counterspell. They've got 1 card left in the hand. That's going to be a treasure token. Let's go and sacrifice this. And the good thing is about this, we're going to get the counter, and this goes on the stack, and we got 2 more to go for. There we go. Look at Mayhem Devil coming out of the Raptors for the show finale. So there we go. You can see where Juri is. You know, we have this hodgepodge of creatures, but if you get enough of these creatures out there, even using something like a Toxic Deluge to pay 12 to clear out the entire board state, you can see how devastating that was to our opponent. Put us in a really good spot. We could have taken a hit for 25 and then... just ripping into Mayhem Devil. That was the icing on the cake. So anyways, if you enjoyed your time at the circus, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.